Marjorie Benesh, my hero, my mom. My hero, my mom.
At 8 years old, I was gifted with horseback riding lessons. It was the closest I got to my birthday and Christmas wishes to own a horse of my own. After my first lesson, I remember telling Mom, "Oh yes, I want a horse of my own." Her reply, "Margie, keep that dream alive. You act on it. Whatever you strive for, whatever you want to do or become can happen." She always encouraged me to go after my dreams and goals as she did. Back to May 1927. Charles Lindbergh was in the news, on the radio and newspapers. His 33.5-hour solo flight, nonstop, across the Atlantic from New York to Paris made aviation history. News of Charles Lindbergh and the spirit of St. Louis ignited the imagination of 8-year-old Lavelle Richards. She knew then and there that she wanted to become a pilot. When she told her parents she wanted to become a pilot, they forbade her to even speak about flying around the house or with them. She didn't speak about it, but she started reading everything she could about planes and flying. She even made up a secret scrapbook from one of her comic books. She hid it among her regular books. January 1st, 1937. 10 years later, Lavelle and her high school sweetheart had their first flying lesson at Los Angeles. It was at Lavelle's request in lieu of a New Year's Eve dinner and date. They both started working after school and on weekends and earned their pilot's license, a dream come true for Lavelle. Parents' permission wasn't required back then. Lavelle didn't even tell her parents she was flying until after she got her license. Her mom cried. After the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, recreation flying was curtailed here on the West Coast. Lavelle moved from Los Angeles to Phoenix, Arizona, to continue her flying and working. On a Friday afternoon, September 1942, Lavelle walked away from her job. Lunchtime, reading the newspaper, she read an article about aviatrix Jacqueline Cochran. She was developing a program for women for the Army Air Force in non-combat. She was starting a flight training program. Lavelle took the newspaper to her boss and said, "I quit. I'm going to be one of Jacqueline's pilots." Her boss's answer, "You're crazy." No, Lavelle wasn't crazy. She did quit then and there. The newspaper didn't have any sign-up information, so Lavelle did the next best thing. She wrote to President Roosevelt to sign up for Miss Cochran's program. Lavelle had an interview with Miss Cochran in Phoenix, Arizona, and was told that the first group of women had already been selected, but she was planning more groups. That didn't deter Lavelle. No, she had some male pilots who were friends of Miss Cochran's. Soon after, Lavelle was contacted to have a second interview with Miss Cochran in Indio, California. Shortly after that, Lavelle did receive a telegram to report to Luke Field in Arizona for her physical, then report to Houston, Texas. Lavelle was going to have another dream come true. She was one of the 319th Army Air Force Women's Flying Training Detachment that came to be called the Guinea Pigs, the first in the program organized by Miss Cochran. Later, that program was joined with Nancy Love's program, and they became Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP. Her flight instructor in Houston changed her from plane to plane, made her go into forced landing and forced landing, hoping to wash her out. No, she graduated with flying colors. She was stationed in Long Beach, California. For her, Long Beach had a party atmosphere. Though flying was serious, she enjoyed the fun. One night, some of the WASP station there were having a drink in the officers' lounge. Some men pilots came in. One of them winked at Lavelle. Lavelle winked back, then asked her friend, "Mary, who was that who winked at me?" "Why, Lavelle, that's Ken Benesh." Lavelle's response, "Oh, drat. If he asks me for a date, I will have to date him." And that's a story for another time. They were married. And after the WASPs were disbanded in 1944, Lavelle became a full-time homemaker and mother, but she kept up her flying as co-pilot with her husband, my dad. They flew across the US, Europe, Africa, Asia, Indonesia. They flew through storms, instrument failures, engine failures, hostile fire, and forced landings. Through all of that trial and tribulations, Lavelle was always smiling, was always thankful, and saw a silver lining. She told me to pursue my goals and keep smiling. And I did get my horse and had him for several years. Thank you, Mom. I'll keep smiling and pursuing my dream. Thank you, Mom, my hero.
Wow. Wow, Marjorie, I knew a little bit of that story, but I never knew the rest. What an inspiring and inspirational and a history lesson besides. That should be given to a few graduating classes in high school to have them know that they can fight for a dream that they have, no matter how difficult it is.